The Home Affairs services are back online after being hit by a nationwide outage. The outage impacted almost all services. The incident was caused by a cable breakage that connects to the State Information Technology Agency, SITA. Joining us for more is the departmental spokesperson, Qoza, to tell us. So, Sia, at this point, let's start with the latest. Where do things stand in terms of restoration of services on your side, the downtime that you are facing with your systems? Has that all been sorted out? But importantly, what is the implication for a backlog in the number of services that depend on the system being up and running?
Thank you very much, Tulas, for the opportunity of talking to you and your viewers. Yes, indeed, services are back online. On Friday, we had an unfortunate incident in that we had a cable break that impacted our services. So we were only able to do essentially two services. The one service being to issue passports and to also issue handwritten death certificates. Around about 2 o'clock on Friday, we were able to return some services, and most of the services were returned around about 4 o'clock. When the Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, heard that the system had broken down, he wanted us to make sure that it is restored as quickly as possible. And when he got that feedback, he then instructed the department to extend operating hours tomorrow to try and make up for and assist people who may have wanted to access our services on Friday. So as things stand, we will be operating up until 6:30 tomorrow. Anyone who comes or rather arrives at our offices before 6:30 would be assisted tomorrow.
Is there a way of quantifying, Sia, just how big the backlog might be? Because if we're saying most of your services, particularly those that depend on IT infrastructure, were down, and you could only do those that don't require IT infrastructure, such as delivery of passports, for example, and the handwritten death certificates that people needed to conduct burials over the last few days. That sounds to me like a massive backlog would have been created.
Indeed, we do think that there is quite a big backlog created, because anyone who would have wanted to come to apply for a passport or an ID, those services were not available on Friday, and those are the two services that bring in a lot of people on a daily basis. I would say easily around about 90% of people who come to Home Affairs are coming for one of those two services. So we do anticipate that there's going to be a backlog, and that is why the operating hours have been extended. Of course, during the course of the day, we will be monitoring to see what is happening on the ground, and if there's any further action that needs to be taken, we will communicate. But as of now, we'll be operating up until 6:30 tomorrow to try and cover as many people as possible who would have been inconvenienced by the unfortunate incident that took place on Friday.
Unfortunate incident, Sia, you describe it, but it's not happening in a vacuum, is it? We are talking about an incident of downtime that comes in the wake of the minister revealing in Parliament that actually this kind of downtime has increased by about 4 to 4.5% in a year. And, you know, it may not sound like a lot, but actually an increase of that nature from where you were standing at about what, 1.2% in the year 2020 to 2021, and then the increase comes up to close to 5% in the year 2021 into 2022. This is happening a lot, is it not?
Yes, Tulas, maybe perhaps it's opportune for me to explain why we would have those kinds of downtimes. Home Affairs has been increasingly using technology to deliver services. For an example, if you go to a Home Affairs now, you no longer need to bring in a copy of you no longer need to bring in an ID size photo, because we take those electronically, digitally, and then process the applications. What that means is that we depend quite heavily and extensively on technology. So when technology fails, we are therefore not able to deliver services. What happened on Friday is that a cable that connects our offices, the front offices, to our databases, which is basically the engine of service delivery at Home Affairs. That is where the breakage happened. And when that happened, the acting director general went to the physical site of where the problem was, oversaw the repairs to that, because that's how seriously we take any inconvenience caused to citizens. So he went there to oversee the recovery and making sure that everything was in place and ready for tomorrow. So that has been done. In other instances, the downtime would not be because of a cable theft. It may be because of our own systems, the technology that we internally use to process these IDs. So each time there is a break, each time there is a break in service, we do our utmost, working with all the technology technicians in the department and our partners, to make sure that we restore services as quickly as possible.
Lastly, Sia, you mentioned the various reasons why this happens, and I see that part of the reasons that were being cited in the minister's response in Parliament included such issues as power supply. Those are things you don't control. When there's load shedding, that's something that's at ESCOM, although the point could be made about you by now needing to have arranged your own backup power generators. Talk to me about the problem, though, of cable theft. Because I see that it also impacts you as well. This is not one of the obvious, consequences of cable theft and infrastructure vandalism in general. You don't immediately think Home Affairs. You think, PRASA. You think Transnet. You think ESCOM and Telkom being affected. But it seems to be having an impact even on your side as well.
Yes, indeed. Tulas, if I may just start by indicating that quite a number of our offices, particularly the large ones, they do have backup generators that we use in the event that we've got power failure. So load shedding is less of a hindrance in our service delivery than the example that you've raised around cable theft. Now, cable theft, again, is quite critical for us, because that is what enables us to deliver services. So if our front office is not able to get the information from the back office...
Sia, my apologies. I have to stop you there, and I thank you for your time. Unfortunately, I have to end it at this point because there's a live event on the go that I do need to go to. Sia Qoza there from the Department of Home Affairs.